Hello, everybody. Brian here from QuantLabsNet.com. All right, so I'm very close to throwing in some live money into the trading finally. Trying to calculate, if you watch my prior video on account trading sizes, um, I've put together a variety of different strategy types and whatnot. So, what I'm trying to do now is I'm taking everything in a different direction. We all know about automated trading. We all know about position sizing and all that fun stuff. I just put a video on it and how to do it. So the key here now is, well, that's all fine and good, uh, but let's start doing something unique. So what I'm proposing to do over the next, I don't know, probably moving forward, is I want to do live trading workshops through Zoom and put together some strategies that might help people out. The more glaring one right now is inflation. I'm not going to get all philosophical on the why inflation's coming in, but what you're hearing from politicians and the media are pure lies. I'll just say this. When it comes to inflation, inflation is only brought on by one thing, national debt. When you have governments overspending what they're taking in, they take on debt. And at some point, all that debt's got to get serviced through interest. One of the punishments from an economic standpoint is going to be inflation. You just heard this week how the U.S. is now entering um, into inflation, and I can confirm that. Years ago, before we hit the 9% under the prior president, um, inflation was getting up to about 8-9%. Now that's what the official government's telling you. I think it's a lot higher. But a year prior to that, before the actual inflation kicked in, one particular uh, instrument spiked, and it spiked really high. Uh, 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, that same instrument spiked really high. So that's a very early indicator, the canary in the coal mine, we'll call it, where that um, with that particular instrument spiked and has spiked for the last year to date, we'll call it, is over 24%. So that will tell you you cannot lie, media cannot hide it. They'll blame other things, but the point is that we are going to have some very severe inflation coming. One thing I've learned over the last few years, if you want to truly fight inflation, is you want to fight where inflation is, which could be in particular agricultural products like food and some industrial product as well. If you were to invest into those particular instruments now via futures and options with the right type of strategies, you can circumvent those inflationary costs against you and your household, which means that you can profit from that and be able to keep up with the inflation and actually profit when the inflation kicks in, which can be in a weird way, a good thing. That's capitalism, right? So part of what we're facing now is I think we're going to hit some very severe volatile periods, and we're also going to hit some very high inflationary periods. And I think this inflationary is going to be here to stay. So there's going to be a couple of choices households people can make, especially if they're losing their jobs and pretty well their careers because of AI. The only thing I can suggest is to pretty well listen to what I'm about to tell you. I'm going to be doing some live trading, not live trading, but live workshops with me via Zoom with whoever wants to pay at a very nominal amount of money. Out of that, I'm going to choose particular strategies, techniques via quant to help you in your trading to circumvent what is coming. Now, with the government now, just especially for the US's big, bold 4 trillion added to the deficit budget or bill, I think it's insane. Just ask Elon Musk about it. But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter your political stripes. What matters is the impact that it'll have on you. So as I said, you got to be able to circumvent that by pretty well one of the very few areas in the world is investing and specifically in futures and options in these particular instruments. So what I'm planning to do, as I said, with these workshops, is the first one to go and talk about this one particular instrument that's your early indicator on why it's spiking. Now you can also hear everybody goes in gold, gold, gold. Well, it's all fine and good when you have your fiat currency, be it US dollar, Canadian euro, whatever currency it is, in gold, because gold right now, and maybe silver as well, is the last real sound money instrument you have. So you could trade theoretically and synthetically on the markets in those sound money instruments. And that would be, in this case, gold. Okay. And you can also trade anything you want synthetically with combined strategies. That's why I created my futures and options course, so people can learn to be able how to do this and be able to get pretty decent returns. Again, not financial advice here, but projected pretty good low risk, and be able to survive this really bad economy that's getting worse and worse and worse. So, knowing these workshops is one thing to learn about the strategies and the ideas with the current economic and pretty well political climates that we have. The other thing is to be able to take that, talk about it, learn those strategies, and the other thing is to actually implement them with live code. Now, in my experience, we can do it either with C++, which can be complicated, or we could do it with Python as well. So that's my whole proposal here, is to start pushing this out so people can learn about these strategies to help circumvent these bad times that we're going through and people losing jobs and careers pretty well, to help them survive this. So part of this is to be able to learn that, learn to be able to see it, circumvent it, and use real data to prove it, and not some concocted, manipulated government data source or media source that everyone seems to rely on, but real data using AI, and be able to use code that will be able to go out and algorithmic, algorithmically, systematically, automatically trade on your behalf into your account with a highly repeatable broker like Interactive Brokers. And the other reason why I like Interactive Brokers, because they're pretty well in over 100 countries, and there's nothing stopping people from trading with Interactive Brokers. So that's what I'm planning to do. I'll be introducing my first workshop in the next few days. Keep your eyes out, and if you want, go on to my website at quantlabsnet.com and join that newsletter, and I'll let you know when it happens. So again, we're going to learn about what's going on in the economy, learn about the different instruments that you could trade in gold, real sound money, via legitimate futures and options. And the Chicago Mercantile Exchange has been around for over 100 years and will still remain for 100 years and beyond, as long as the world doesn't blow up. It's also more mainstream legit, and it's relying on your own data sources through the CME. It cannot be manipulated, and be able to trade these instruments with combined strategies and with automation, and be able to hopefully for you to profit and be able to beat inflation and generate income from this as well. That's what I'm proposing to do. If you want to learn more, as I said, join the webs or the newsletter at quantlabsnet.com. We'll leave it at that. If you're doom scrolling, may 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 you help yourself whatever means you go about. But I'll leave it at that. Thanks for watching.